This American Monster. A Monster of the Week actual play from This American Dice. Last time on This American Monster. Our heroes defeated the spirit of a witch, haunting those who he wished to make lonesome as himself. But rather than deliver any information to the Law Corporation, they kept it to themselves.
Oh, we see a shot of, it's kind of in the day. We see a shot, like an exterior shot of maybe like some kind of like little small hills. I don't want to say sand dunes because I think they're kind of like hills, but like grassy hills that are, the grass is kind of dead. And you hear gunshots. And pretty soon we zoom into see Mr. Welker's eyes like really, really close. Then we see a gun with him shooting that gun. And would you say generally that Mr. Welker is fairly competent with like a sidearm?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. And then we see kind of that same shot from before where we just kind of see this hill or whatever. And we see the same deal again. And we see what Mr. Welker is shooting at. And it's just at a target. And we kind of look back over at the thing, at the target, and see how Mr. Welker had done. And there's kind of a pause for a beat, and then we hop over to see Ashton, and he's doing the same thing. So we see kind of a close up on his eyes, and both of them. Yeah, we see both of his eyes. Including the one that has the swastika of penises tattooed right underneath it.
Wait a second.
Yeah. So, yeah. It was actually supposed to be a windmill, but it was gone terribly wrong. So, we see the
never fall asleep in the tattoo chair.
Yeah. We see a close-up of Ashton's eyes and kind of like the gun. And it's the same basic thing where you're shooting at a target and we maybe see the target. You have described Ashton as exceedingly clumsy, and yet Ashton also has ancient fighting arts. Firing like a fairly standard issue pistol, probably not necessarily in the ancient fighting techniques or fighting arts category. But how does this go for Ashton? You can just straight up tell me how this goes for him.
So you said this is kind of outside?
Yes, you guys are outdoors on basically on an outdoor firing range shooting at these targets. And I think the targets are kind of the standard just silhouette that has like the concentric circles near the head and near the chest for like where you like generally want to be hitting center mass. And so you guys have those, and again, you're outdoors. So we see like the sun kind of beating down on you guys. It looks like it's a hot day. Maybe you guys are like sweating a good amount. And yeah, maybe there's like a kind of an awning covering you guys, giving you a little bit of shade, but it's still hot. It's summertime, baby.
Yeah, I think he did really poorly. If maybe it looks like he hasn't shot it at all, but then he's like, "Oh, Mr. Welker, look!" And maybe the camera zooms in, and there's like just like barely over the corner of one of the sheets, you know.
Okay,
it went mostly into the haystack, but just bent one of the tiny corners of the little sheet. He's like, "Oh, I'm getting better. I hit it that time."
Is this on one of those lines that goes back and forth where you can hit a button and it just pulls it towards you?
Sure.
Okay. So yes, you've pulled this thing back towards you and it's almost untouched, but on the very bottom you could see that you nicked it.
And Mr. Welker say, "You have unarguably gotten better, Mr. Greene."
And I think as you guys are looking at this, somebody yanks it out of your hands. And of course, that person is Mr. Bishop. And and I think he just says like, Welker, I thought this kid was supposed to be learning something from you. What's going on here?
Oh, he certainly has. I've learned plenty of things from him as well. You should see him in the field. He has a real instinct for finding and neutralizing trouble.
Oh, well, I think he takes out a I have an idea for this, but I want to make it weirder. I think he's just nude. Yeah.
He just unzips.
Yeah, you guys are at a Turkish bathhouse.
You gotta learn how to shoot your first gun.
Yeah. He's getting a rub down while you guys are talking to him. No, I think he says, knows his way in the field, huh? And he takes this thing and he takes out I would have him like take out a pen and he just draws a face on the thing and that's smiling. And he says, seems like he's fine to me. I don't know if that's too goofy for this character to seem menacing or if it should be something crazier like
he stabs you.
Yeah, he just stabs you. Yeah.
Stabs me in the eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go with it.
Yeah, I think seems like yeah. So Mr. Bishop, who's pointing at this fairly unscathed marksmanship target placard, whatever you want to call it. Oh, I should have looked that up.
Yeah, there's definitely a name for that or a word, but I forget now.
Yeah, when he's looking at this fairly unscathed target, he takes out of his pocket a just like a Sharpie marker or a grease pencil or something like that, and he just draws like a smiley face on the target.
Does this show like, the bad guys are real happy or something? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, I think he'll say like, he seems fine to me.
And I think Ashton is like, oh yeah, I like that. That's cute.
And I'll say, Mr. Greene's definitely left a lot of people happy during our service. And isn't that really what it comes down to? Trying to encourage Mr. Bishop to be more encouraging to him and like pat Mr. Greene on the back and say, it's not all about taking people out. He's done a lot of good out there.
He says, well, I can see that. And I think we point over to that this was not the first the beginning of this, that you guys have been at this for a while.
There's a pristine pile of untouched ones next to him.
Oh, I think that Mr. Welker has like several of these.
Yeah.
And he has several of these, and we see kind of near him essentially like empty clips of ammunition. To indicate like he's been shooting for a while. And we look over at the area where Ashton has been, and there's just the one because it hasn't been necessary to replace it.
That makes sense.
And there's like similarly like a similar number of empty clips of ammunition.
That's storytelling through visuals.
Yeah, there you go. If only this was a visual medium. Now let's focus on the smell. All right. Yeah, so I think Mr. Bishop is kind of shakes his head, looks down and says, we'll clean this up later. Get somebody to do it. And he kind of points to like, let's head back inside.
Okay. And as we're doing that, Mr. Welker would say, training aside, and it's always a pleasure to host you in our city, Mr. Bishop. But about our city, I know we brought up previously in our previous board meeting that there seems to be a good amount of activity in this area, between the Gillman and the werewolf. Does the company have any insight into that? Will there be any like increased allocation of resources here?
He'll and again, Mr. Bishop is played
Merle
by the actor who played Merle from My Name Is Earl, from My Name Is Earl from The Walking Dead. Okay. Jesus Christ. And I of course had forgotten the name of that actor.
Yeah, you're thinking My Name Is Merle.
My Name Is Merle.
Spin-off.
Yeah,
really good.
Really dark. Very racist.
He was Mary Poppins in Guardians of the Galaxy, which I know you've never seen.
Oh, it's a shame. It's good.
Michael Rooker. Michael Rooker is
There
the
he
name
is.
of that actor.
That sounds like it should be his name.
Yeah. Oh, and wait, it's even 2 different chess pieces. It's funny. Anyway, rook and a bishop.
There was the one I was missing.
Yeah. So, all right. So Mr. Bishop kind of takes his glasses off and maybe he takes out like a handkerchief and he kind of wipes his face. And again, it's Michael Rooker. He's a little bit shorter than average. I think Mr. Welker stands a little bit taller than he does. He has kind of gray hair that's definitely balding, though he seems to like shave it. He's as he, I think he picks up like whatever gun that he had been using to do this, which was like a similar kind of standard issue, like almost like police semi-automatic handgun. And I think he'll say, you know, if you guys are looking about extra resources, usually all you got to do is ask, especially if you're bringing in results. I mean, all this weird shit going on, the more y'all can wrangle it in and grab it together, the better. Because the bigger the collection, the happier the boss is going to be.
And Mr. Welker would say, "Oh, certainly. I don't mean to imply that we haven't been well taken care of. I'm just concerned. I just want to make sure that nothing comes up we can't handle for the safety of the people here. And speaking of bringing people in, how's the research going on Mrs. Hellinger, Miss Hellinger?"
And he kind of pauses, and I think you guys are maybe like at the door to this building. And I think on the side it basically just says, please unload all firearms and blah 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 before entering.
And I'll be doing that.
Yeah. And he says, the girl you picked up a couple months ago, yeah, she's doing fine.
That's good.
Yeah. He says, but Welker, listen, you got the resources you need to get this stuff done. The 2 big things you got to worry about are making sure you get it done. And apparently keeping things a little more quiet than before.
Don't worry, we got that under control. I assure you, this is going to be the best run unit that LoreCorp has.
And he'll kind of nod and he'll say, you did a good job with that kid. And again, he means Roberta Hellinger in that capacity.
Because we didn't tell him about Graves.
Right. And so he'll say, like, you did a good job, and he'll basically compliment the way that you handled that with the police. But he'll just kind of reiterate, like we're looking into stuff that we don't know. All right. No, I think he'll say this and like show a little bit of light between himself and other parts of the company. And he'll say, like, I don't know if they know what they're looking into completely, but I do know they don't want other folks to know what they're looking into. Whether it's competitors, whether it's regulations and laws and red tape and that kind of stuff, or just bad press. If the people, and I think you guys head into this room, and it's just like a place. It's like a shooting range that's where you can kind of like stack up these different things. There's maybe an interior part of the shooting range where you can do this inside that's incredibly loud, and so he has to start yelling a little. No, I think you guys have rented this space out, so there's nobody else in there. And he kind of puts this stuff up, but there's also kind of weirdly a gym in the place. And he'll say, I don't know how excited people would be to know that the folks who make their baby soap are also looking into werewolves and ghosts and monsters and all kinds of other such.
No, of course. People aren't ready.
Yeah. Well, till they are, we got to make sure that we can go out there and kick whatever's ass comes at us that we can find, so we can grab that ass and bring it back here. And yeah. So I think at this point he kind of continues going through this stuff with you guys, and I think like the next thing that he'll have you do is he'll like, maybe you guys can grab some water, and then he'll do something where it's almost going to be like almost like a hand-to-hand combat thing.
Oh, that might be something Mr. Greene's potentially at least as good as me at with the
Yeah.
nunchucks.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it's like what if it's like one of those stereotypical like everyone have a quarterstaff thing, or like American Gladiator, like with the things on the end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Giant like foamy things on the end.
Yeah, like the Q-tip things.
Yeah. Now everyone's standing at the big plushy thing in the middle of the ball pit.
Yeah. I think to be more serious, at least initially, it would just start off as almost like a boxing kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And-
probably Ashton would be equally as bad at that. If they're sticks, though, he might be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be a savant at something, right?
Yeah. So maybe that's the maybe that's part of it, where I think you guys can kind of like box, and he might just even have you guys just like spar with one another, and he'll just keep like shouting out suggestions. And I almost imagine we have kind of a montage of Mr. Welker and Ashton sparring with one another, just kind of like lightly boxing. They've got like the headgear stuff on and boxing gloves. And maybe they're not the regular boxing gloves. They're more like kind of the kickboxing boxing gloves, where you have like a little bit more movement of your hands.
Yeah.
And as the two of you guys are kind of going through this, I think maybe Mr. Welker is providing Ashton some relevant feedback of like, maybe try this.
Keep
Maybe
your hands up. Don't
Yeah.
always move your feet.
Mhm.
Crouch down.
And I think Mr. Bishop has also advice, but it's just much meaner. I think he's like the kind of person who's like, kid, you keep crossing your leg one in front of the other like this, and he like has you do it, and then just pushes you down to be like, oh, you're unstable. And so I think that goes on for a bit. But while you
Close up
guys
your
are,
butthole. He's
Yeah.
worming his way in there.
yeah, didn't you know you're trying to box butt worms? All right, here comes some more, and he starts throwing worms at you guys.
Yeah.
And there are various sizes. Some of them are regular worms. Some of them are like dog heartworm size with
If
dangerous.
we make it in, we'll get to that in 2 episodes.
Yeah, exactly. Every time he gets one in, you hear bing, 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 go.
I like how you're like, wait, hold on. Practice stick fighting. Way too ridiculous. Let's go to the heartworm goalpost.
Right. Well, I think some of the difference is obviously I'm not going to have that be part of the story.
It's a shame, you know. Really could have added a lot
Listen,
of flavor to
yeah.
Lore.
This is all canon.
Yeah.
He has you practice with cannons.
Uncanonize this stuff. This is
Worm
forever.
cannons.
Yeah.
He brings out Nick Cannon. You guys have to fight Nick Cannon.
Cannon cop.
Yeah. But yeah, my point is that you guys can kind of talk with Mr. Bishop while you're doing this. And I think one of the big things that we can notice is that, like I had said before, this place is empty. It's like as if you've rented this space has been rented out. And maybe we can see on the wall, it says like, I think it says like Fortitude Security Solutions. And there's dogs somewhere in the distance. But it says like Fortitude Security Solutions, and it has like some like lists of rules or that kind of stuff. And there's other posters that are like,
No diving in the pool.
yeah, no glass containers, swim
Yeah.
your own risk.
No running on slick surfaces.
And next thing, better not run on me because I'm always slick. No, but so I think there are a bunch of posters that are like the weird kind of things that you would expect, where they're like executing a throat punch, like that kind of a thing. The creepy dummy that is like the weird silicone guy. Some of the kind of shit that like Chris and Annie would be like, oh, we got to get this for Christian karate camp, kind of a deal.
Yeah, like instead of posters like how to do the Heimlich and like how to like do CPR, it's just posters like how to do a flying kick.
Yeah,
do, like a proper like arm lock.
Yeah, it's a bunch of like Krav Maga things, but also like make sure gun safety is important. Also, here's the stopping power of these bullets, and like a bunch of different kinds of bullets that are listed. So, yeah,
it's like the Second Amendment written out.
Oh yeah,
and framed.
totally.
Oh,
like gorgeous font.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a pan over of the Second Amendment in like very big things.
The bathroom is covered in swastika graffiti.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this place is full of some characters. But yeah, so I think the point of this is that this isn't a gym. This isn't like we just went to a local firing range. It also isn't like we went to a boxing gym or even like a karate dojo kind of a place. Like, this is a place that's weirder than that for sure. And again, you have rented out the facility. You guys are theoretically the only 3 people there. There might be another dude who's in the office and he's just hanging around.
Yeah, nobody pays attention to Willie.
Oh, that's me. Call me Will. They won't.
Call me Wormy Willie.
Mm-hmm, that's me, Wormy Willie.
He's the worm tosser.
Mm-hmm. Get ready, boyos. Yeah.
So, is there anything going on in Mr. Greene's head that he wants to talk about?
Yeah, if there were little word balloons in this comic book. Now it's a comic book instead of a TV show for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
But I think he's thinking, especially after Mr. Bishop. I guess I'm doing a monologue right now.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how you would do this in a TV show. I guess it's just close up on his face. Yeah, and then there's voiceover. He's like, wow, that Mr. Bishop seems really intense. And I guess he has some good points, but I think that people they might be scared at first, but they have a right to know if they're in danger. I don't know if I agree with him there, especially if a company with such great resources and really good morals as Lorecore, if people knew that they were helping, I think that would only be a good thing. But it's not my place to say.
And you hear
and he gets like hit by
exactly.
Mr. Welker.
Yeah. And I think he yells like kid. He's like, kid, where the hell are you?
Yeah, like the sound rushes back in. He's like, whoa.
Yeah. And you get like just popped in the face. You're like, whoa. So I think he has you guys kind of like take a break for a minute and just sit down and kind of go over some other stuff.
One thing Welker's gonna want to ask at some point before this is over.
Go for it.
Is
I'm literally just trying to provide little scenes to express one idea that I think I've expressed pretty clearly already.
Yeah.
And get you guys opportunities to talk to one another and to this dude.
And here's the idea that Welker wants to express, and that is like, Mr. Bishop, if the company's satisfied with our work, I want the company to know that I'm ready to take on more. We are ready to take on more, but I especially would love the opportunity to lead them to like high value targets, whatever we can do to help. Like, I'm ready for more.
And he's like, that sounds great. Here's the thing. The way they've got this set up, we can try to give you guys clues here or there, company resources to find this. But you guys are the ones on the ground. You're your own scouts in this one. You got to find these things.
So, and we will. I've got a pretty good feeling about that.
I was pretty skeptical about the idea of you guys putting together your own team, but the 2 acquisitions we've had so far, I guess 1.5, still pretty impressive. What made you guys Sorry to ask this in front of you, kid, he says to Ashton, kind of dismissively. But what was the criteria for putting that team together?
I said, that's simple, Mr. Bishop. I took only the best. As you know, LoreCorp, and like he'll sort of lower his voice a bit for this part. It's like LoreCorp has had their eye on Mr. Greene, as you know, and he has proven to be a worthwhile investment. And then he'll raise his voice again and be like, Mr. Blade is obviously a master of his field. He's our eyes.
I think in the background when you talk about Ashton, he's like trying to punch one of those like big like punching bags, and it just like goes and like swings back and hits him, and he falls over.
Oh, and I think that actually works perfectly. That Ashton is off to the side. He's doing that. And I think Bishop will say the same. He'll kind of ask and say, he will ask you about Ashton. Files had said to keep an eye on that kid. Is there anything you found that warrants any kind of action?
He'll shake his head and say, not yet. Obviously, I've been keeping my eye on him. All I can say so far is he expresses a certain attitude for the line of work. He has a knack for being in the right place at the right time. And even though, as you can see, his skills don't seem to show it in a more mundane setting, when he's in the field, things just seem to happen. So I think he is absolutely, it's absolutely a good idea to keep him close. And it's also, it contributes a lot to the success of the team.
He'll kind of nod and say like, well, even if he's a snake, I mean, snake you can't see is the more dangerous one, right? I'm making him more southern as this goes, but
it's like he's our snake now.
Yeah, he's our snake now. And then the butt flaps on his long johns pop open, and he's like, "Oh shucks." Yeah, I didn't mention he's wearing a union suit, but yeah, no, he'll kind of like lean back up away. I think he's wearing what would he be wearing? I think he's wearing kind of a dress shirt like Mr. Welker often wears.
Maybe he's like untucked and like appropriate for the scenario, whereas mine's still like in perfect presentation mode.
No, I think he's got kind of more the actually it might make sense if he has more kind of the, he's wearing like a t-shirt, but over it he just does have a bulletproof vest on. I think so. It's like that kind of like weird, like, oh, a normal person doesn't walk around in a bulletproof vest. This is weird. Yeah, but he'll kind of lean back and say, "What about that country? What about the country music guy? You had him in there. That didn't seem to make any sense to me."
He'll say, he's another one whose contributions are hard to sort of judge in a field report. But I can tell you that after following his advice in the Hellinger mission, we wouldn't have gotten where we did if we hadn't done that. He also has a way of bringing the team together. I think he did a lot for Mr. Greene's feeling like he belongs.
Well, I guess it's not too bad to have yourself a mascot now and again if you need it, but
that's a good point. And to the people we interact with, that's often the role you take.
All right. Well, and I think he'll kind of get back up and be like, all right, so, and do you guys have additional questions to ask him about stuff?
No.
Okay. I am going to have most likely Carl make a roll about this. Carl, could you make an act under pressure roll? Unless you have another move that would specifically work about this. Nope. You guys are trying to keep some of this information about the Alan Graves case from the Lore Corporation. Mm-hmm. I think this dude is kind of one of those weird people who can, not weird in regard to the stat of this game, but like people who can tell when something's up and there's something more to the situation. Mm-hmm. I think, could you make this roll while... like to basically try to keep some of the things you've maybe chosen not to talk about under wraps. I'm not saying that this guy straight up is like, well, I know what you did last summer, but sure, that like he knows something's up.
Well, if I'm really cool, which is act under pressure, I got 13.
That's pretty freaking good. All right, so there's no problem at all, and I think you guys can kind of you can go back to sparring with this guy essentially. Yeah, I think that. I want to give you guys kind of a time to shine here through this, but I also want to present another weird element to it. Maybe you guys take some time like sparring with him and going through some of that stuff, and maybe Ashton gets an opportunity to be like, oh, they have these sticks, and they're almost like kendo sticks kind of things, if you know what I'm talking about. Like Nightwing uses sometimes. And maybe fighting with those, you actually present yourself like a lot better. And this guy's has something to. What can Ashton do that like impresses this guy?
See, the way that move works is if it's old fashioned hand weapons, he can kind of hit harder, like it's +1 harm, or he can protect other people better. So maybe they're fighting with these kendo sticks, like you said, for a little bit, and he keeps Mr. Bishop keeps just trouncing Ashton, but then near the end he finally gets a hit in, and it's way harder than he was expecting. Like maybe he I don't know, what would be a ridiculous gets like a black eye or loses a tooth or something. It's like, oh, how did that happen?
Yeah, I think you whack this guy and he's like kind of holding his head, or it splits part of his eyebrow open. And he's like, oh, you're not too pathetic, kid. After you hit him, and like I said, he like holds his eyebrow, and there's like a little bit of blood trickling out of his eyebrow. And he's like, oh, I didn't think you had it in you. And then
maybe says something like, oh, if only most of these enemies on the field could go down in one hit, and he just beats the shit out of Ashton.
Yeah. And I think what he ends up doing is just like not using the sticks or something like that, where he kind of just grabs them and does some kind of like arm lock, where Ashton is like, oh my God, my arm's going to be broken.
Yeah.
Until he just drops the things.
Oh yeah, that'd be very uncomfortable for Mr. Welker to watch, but he won't dare like interfere.
Oh, and I think that this gives him like a good point to bring up, and he's like, do you see that? Do you see this control? And he kind of like moves your arm in a way where he can kind of move you around. And he's like, you guys are supposed to make sure that you can get a target. And I think he'll basically point out something that's like a little bit frightening, which is like, you want to protect people? That's why we donated all those bulletproof vests to the cops in the city. That's not your job. Your job is to acquire a target and make sure that target is secured. And I think he like moves your arm in a way that you're like, oh! I think that our next scene after that is where is this? It's at the equivalent of like an ale house. Kind of a big restaurant where there's a lot of noise. There's an army of people working in there, moving around. And
so like higher tier than Applebee's, but not quite Outback.
Well, I mean, yeah, unless Ale House forks over the money here. Yeah, but so it's a place like that where you can kind of go in, have lunch, and it's big enough where I thought about doing this at a diner, but the diner that we always go to is that Pancake House. And so I figured to do it at another kind of restaurant. And so like you can go in and get burgers, you can get a salad, you can get a chicken sandwich, you can get whatever. Like there's a wide variety of food. Now I'm just pitching Ale House.
Yeah, it's working.
Hey, I'm a fan. But so you guys can get there, and do you guys all show up together, you think?
Yeah, why not?
Sure. Do you think he is already there, or do you think he shows up later?
I don't think he's like the most punctual guy. He's just a regular dude.
Sounds right. You guys got a booth or something like that, so it's nice and uncomfortable when somebody has to get up and be like, excuse me. Damn it. Yeah. You're awkwardly touching legs.
I mean, you're really bringing back memories.
Yeah, and so jamming like 4 people into a booth in an ale house. Yes, absolutely. Wasn't in Bradenton? Wasn't the ale house that was there like just suddenly closed? Where it was like, the manager's selling drugs or something, and the place just got closed down.
I think that was Bennigan's or something like that.
It was one of those places where it was just.
Did Bradenton have an ale house?
We had an ale house briefly over behind where Applebee's is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Anyway, but yeah, so like I said, this place is busy. There's a lot going on. While you guys are waiting around, we see a waiter or a waitress come by and be like, "Oh, everybody good on drinks and everything? Appetizers, anybody?"
How many Cokes has Darkblade gone through?
Yeah, how many Mountain Dew Code Reds has Darkblade sucked down? There you go.
Not enough.
I don't know if you're trying to... Not enough?
Yeah, so every time it comes by, it's like, refill on that, please.
Yeah, so you've already sucked down multiple Mountain Dew Code Reds.
Yeah, I gulping them down. I've just been guzzling them, as they say. Just guzzling.
Straight guzzling.
Guzzling
the red Code Reds, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Straight guzzling. Okay, so we see that.
Gold.
Are there any appetizers at the table that we see? Are there like notes? Is that other stuff, or is it like we're waiting for somebody else before we?
Do they have anything with like onion petals?
I'm sure. I think they do have specifically onion petals. Yeah.
Yeah. Onion petals are the best. Also, I like buffalo wings, but only when they are boneless buffalo wings.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah,
maybe
with Code Red sauce as well on the boneless buffalo wings.
Okay, you got a plate of like chicken tenders or zingers or something like that.
Yeah.
Covered in a Mountain Dew glaze, which doesn't make any sense.
It's Jack Daniel's Mountain Dew glaze. This is Applebee's.
What would be the worst is to see Darkblade be like, "Oh, just take the plain chicken tenders, but can you give me this sauce and this sauce on the side?" And then he's mixing them together with the Mountain Dew Code Red to make his own signature Code Red Mountain Dew sauce.
Yeah.
I thought this was not going to stray too far into horror, Austin.
Yeah, I know this body horror is already a problem. Anyway, but so you guys are there for a little while, and then Detective Sloan Winters shows up, and he's like, "Oh, hey, sorry guys, got caught up. You know how it is. There's always some kind of paperwork problem, but that's the way it goes. You know what I mean?" And he points to Mr. Welker.
Say, "Sure, of course, Mr. Winters. We're just happy. We're just happy for an opportunity to help." Like motion for a free spot in the booth right next to Mr. Blade's chemistry lab.
Yeah, he'll look down at that. Like, oh. Or he'll look down at that, and at an empty table nearby, he sees that there's an extra like rolled up silverware, and he'll get the napkin and kind of wipe up some of the sploshing of the Mountain Dew mixture that Darkblade has made. And he'll sit down and say like, "Anyway, you guys can," and I think maybe Ashton and Darkblade have some food, and he'll say like, "Awesome, you guys already got something to eat. Flag down the waitress and get something." And when the waitress comes over, he like looks at his watch, and I think what time would be appropriate for a lunch meeting?
1:30.
1:30. And I think he's like, so it's, you guys were supposed to meet at 1:30. It's 1:40. And like, no, he's later than that. It's 1:50.
They've almost stopped serving lunch.
Yeah, they've almost stopped serving lunch. It's 1:50, and he says, like, we can call this 2:30, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think he'll just like order just a giant beer.
Oh, okay, got it now.
And say like my shift ends at 2:30, which is an incredibly weird time to end a shift on whatever day of the week it is. Wednesdays. At 2:30, my shift ends on Wednesdays. So glad to meet you guys here at 2:30. 1. He like rolls his eyes.
Mr. Welker would like order a beer for the whole table, like to make him feel better about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The waitress is like, "Oh, sure. Can I see your ID, sir?" And she goes to ID Ashton and Darkblade.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, here you go. I'm the junior regional project manager." Just like his business card.
Yeah. Oh, well, congratulations. And it says here, it's your birthday. No, so yeah,
I'll have a margarita, please.
Oh, excellent. You want that? And she'll go through like an absurd list of options.
Yeah,
of flavors.
The now and later flavor. Thanks.
Absolutely. The now and later margarita. That's my favorite. Does Darkblade have a regular standard issue ID?
No, he burned his social security card long ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So he shows like he offers to pay in Bitcoin.
Uh-huh.
And then when they say no, he has he leans into Welker and asks him to order him a drink.
Yeah, because apparently this guy has never like experienced ordering at a restaurant recently.
He's just not drinking. Yeah,
it'll be really.
All right, can you give me the Jolly Rancher flavor, please?
And I think Detective Winters is like, how old are you, kid?
My age is confidential.
Oh, okay. Don't worry. I won't take any written notes. You're good.
All right.
And yeah, I was gonna have him do another thing, but that answer is so crazy.
It's classified information.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, thank you guys for coming out and meeting me up here. I appreciate it.
So what can we do for you, Mr. Winters?
Yeah, and I feel that Mr. Welker's time in the corporate world he could kind of read at least a little bit of this.
Yeah.
Some of it was dragging on, and he was waiting for you to ask him why he wanted to meet with you.
Oh, why?
That kind of like weird you know what I mean? Like that kind of weird deal of like,
yeah, it'd be like
even though I initiated us meeting, you have to ask it, and then I can like.
He's just so shy. He's always been shy since he was a boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what can we do for Mr. Winters? It's a pleasure to hear from you. What can we do?
Listen, I appreciate that you guys took care of that whole thing with the escaped tiger a month or two ago. I'll say at this point, I'll say a couple of months ago. And so that'll give the audience the point. And there's a shot behind his back that says, in order to drink, you must have been born on, and it says that it's June. Like June, blah, blah, blah. So like we know it is now the month of June. And so he'll say like a couple months ago, I appreciate that stuff with the tiger that you guys did. It was kind of a pain in the ass. But in the end, you guys were able to go out there, find the thing when the animal control folks and that ranger in the state park couldn't handle it. But then just last month, you were able to find that body of that kid. And I think when he says that, there's like a child at the table next to him, and he's like looks and hears that, and he is like a little quieter. But yeah, he's like, you guys were able to find the body of that kid, which I appreciate. Helped us solve that situation. At least we knew where that Graves guy had ended up. So I got to ask you this, and this is a big pain in my ass to come to you like this, but what are you doing? And what is it that I'm missing? What is it that, and when he says I think he's meaning the police force generally, but he's internalizing this. Internalizing, personifying it, where he's saying he's meaning the police, so far as you can kind of tell.
Is there a chance that one of you guys can do kind of like a read a person move, and we can pull that just from Apocalypse World?
So I got an 8.
Okay. Cool. So you could ask one of those general questions.
What's your character really feeling?
Okay. So you can tell, maybe collectively you guys can figure this out. You can see in his pocket that there is a like an unopened pack of cigarettes. Like as he like leans over, you can see in kind of like his breast pocket of his jacket that there's an unopened pack of cigarettes in there. And maybe one of you remembers him discussing like with Darkblade, like, oh, you got to quit smoking. And previously you guys had seen him like going to town on a bunch of chewing gum. And so he seems to be stressed. So what he's feeling is probably what he seems to be stressed out. And what he's stressed out about seems to be that there are these investigations that he's not able to solve, but not just in a standard way. They're things that seemingly baffle him. So you feel kind of this stress and almost a feeling of like impotence over this, where like I'm stressed out and I have no idea of how to go forward. And so he's finally kind of sucked up his humility to ask you guys, you've been successful in these two crazy situations. What is it that I'm missing?
Oh, okay. So if Ashton realizes that, maybe he'll, take another onion petal, just finish that and just like, oh, well, no, detective, I don't think, I mean, maybe I could probably speak for the rest, the other two folks too, but we couldn't have done any of that without you. Like that was all very, like the police and you in particular were like really integral to those, cases that we just kind of happened to, get really lucky through. I don't think, we would have got nearly as far, helped as much as we could have. We're just really here to help you. And he's kind of looking to Mr. Welker, like
Mr. Welker will nod.
Yeah, we really, if it's anything, we should be asking you how are you so good at those cases?
Okay.
I feel he's almost like
almost manipulate role, yeah.
Yeah, just like don't stress out about it. You're the star here.
Don't even trip, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that seems like a manipulate role.
Sure.
I'm trying to say like, yeah, don't worry about it. Don't stress out. You're cool.
Oh no! I was like, oh, maybe that my move triggers, but it specifies, when you tell them the truth, and I don't think he's telling the truth here. All right, so that is a 6 plus an 8 total.
8 total. Okay, cool. So, and I think he'll just basically put something forward, and I think that I'll just reveal another piece of information about him. Talking for a little while with Sloan Winters, Detective Sloan Winters. He's been on the force for a while. He's been on the force. He had mentioned I think he'd mentioned this. I'm not 100%, but he's been on there on the force for 13 or 14 years. So he's been a cop and a detective for a while in Palmetto City. And one of the big things is that he wants to be recognized. So this is helping that. The big deal is if he could be recognized to the people kind of up the chain of command from him, that would be great. So if there are people who are above him that could that could be something he'd really appreciate.
Oh, and is Mr. Greene realizing this? Or
Yes.
is it everyone? Okay.
I think it's Mr. Greene, but he can clue
Cool,
the rest
go
of you
for it.
guys in pretty easily.
No, I think he can take this away.
No, go for it. If,
Well, I mean, I think that like in character, like you're the one who's sort of like gotten an insight into him, so like you should take it next.
oh yeah. Oh, gotcha. So maybe he'll just like he was already kind of looking at Mr. Welker, just like and I'm sure that we can, as part of Lore Corps, or just as individuals, kind of let everyone know that you were the one taking the reins on these cases, to kind of clue Mr. Welker in.
And he'll nod and say, "That's exactly right." He'll say, "I think that, as Mr. Greene said, that you, as an individual, are integral to the fact that these cases were solved by anybody. In fact, like, you've been so helpful to us. If there's any way we can in turn be helpful to you, we would take that opportunity in a heartbeat. It helped both of us."
I appreciate it, guys. I mean, if you could let... Oof. What is the Palmetto City Police Department chief's name?
Deborah Manifold.
Deborah Manifold is a very good name.
Neutral stimulus.
And Neutral Stimulus is also a pretty good name. Oof. Okay. I had a different actor in mind for the police chief, but I can save that person to be the sheriff of the county. Who would be a good actress to play Police Chief Manifold?
I'm terrible with actress and actor names. I don't know. I was picturing someone like sort of dumpier, not kind of unassuming looking, but sort of like good at doing stuff.
All right.
Or you know what? We can just go with she's not dumpy, but who's the lady who was in Fargo?
Well, we've already said that she's.
Oh, did we already use her?
Yeah.
Never
Oh
mind.
wait, what about the
It's just her again.
the cheerleading coach from Glee? She's like
Jane
something
Lynch?
Lynch. Yeah.
Awesome. It's Jane Lynch. Cool. So Deborah Manifold. I'm gonna annoyingly change that to Manafort
I'm very annoyed.
or Manafort.
It was actually a part of my vision for the character that it was specifically Manifold. Because it turns out that she's only one of several versions of Deborah across the multiverse.
Gotcha. All right, I'll go with Manifold. Deborah Manifold.
Cool. Well, then the rest of it's going to be canon too.
Okay. Yeah. Every time you look at her and you look in her eyes, it's just a swirling black vortex.
Where you can see what's happening through the eyes of the other Deborahs.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, oh God. And you get a sense of how you'll die.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, if Chief Manifold could know that more often, I wouldn't be pissed about it. The big thing is, fellas, I appreciate your help with this stuff. I just got to know what's going on. I mean, again, the department, everybody appreciates the donations that the company makes, but why looking into these kind of cases? There's plenty of other cases that everybody could use help on.
And Mr. Welker would shrug and say, well, you know who we work for. And honestly, you know how it is with these large corporations. It's they have their hand in a lot of pots. It's no secret that we're there on their behalf. And they just have access to resources that the average, local R&D wouldn't. So in the interest of helping out whatever way they can, they fund all kinds of different, research-based ventures like this.
And I think you guys have succeeded well enough on enough of these roles that Detective Winters kind of he finishes his beer. He kind of signals to the waitress to get him another one, and he'll say, "Well, again, you guys just keep helping me out however you can, and I'll let you know what I can, because ideally, like I said, if Chief Manifold's hitting retiring age pretty soon, and moving up the ladder wouldn't be something that would upset me too much." And so, yeah, like I said, I wanted to provide you guys like a little insight into his deal, is that like this guy is someone who wants to move up the ladder within the ranks of the police.
Absolutely. And like Mr. Wilk would be all about like encouraging that and genuinely trying to do that, because having him be higher up would be amazing.
My thought is that we have a scene with Darkblade, and we kind of see some of his family life that we had learned about previously. Specifically, guess who comes home to have dinner with the family?
Fucking Brian.
It's Brian, baby. Brian, your younger brother, Brian Kmoch, comes home. So yeah.
Yeah, he's got a full head of hair.
Who plays him too?
Oh, who does play him?
Oh, it's gotta be if you've seen Step Brothers, it's gotta be the guy who played
Adam Scott?
The guy who does the wine and the Sonoma wine, the helicopters.
The Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah. Yeah, the Catalina wine mixer. It's gonna be a mixture of him and also Key.
Oh, did you hear that one?
When Key. Oh, I didn't hear that one. No,
no, sorry, my stomach just was like.
That's a nice way of saying he tooted.
It'll come out later.
There's a great Key and Peele sketch, and that's really what I'm picturing. Is this Key and Peele sketch is just brilliant. It's about and Key plays like the successful, like kind of high road older brother who just is also trying to be nice to his younger brother, who would be Darkblade here. And
okay. Well, I think we said last time that Brian is the younger brother.
Okay, so if he's a younger brother, that fits great, with either of those scenarios.
Adam Scott is pretty perfect, by the way.
Is Adam Scott the guy from Step Brothers?
He has such a punchable face.
Yeah. That would be the road you go down.
Actor. Yeah,
Step Brothers, Parks and Rec, the Piranha movies.
Oh, the guy who plays Ben in Parks and Rec.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny that he plays so many like funny douchebags when like the role I know him best for is like this super sweet like guy.
Nice guy, yeah.
What role?
He's really good in the Good
Rec.
Place too. If you've seen The Good Place, he's great.
I've seen most of The Good Place, and yes, he's great in that.
Okay, can we talk about? All right, one more movie.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen Air Bud?
I've seen Santa Paws and the Air Buddies movie, the one about them saving Christmas.
Yeah, the Labrador. I think it was just one Labrador who played him the whole time. Great.
Or
acting.
Airbud Golden Receiver, the oft overlooked sequel about the football dog.
Yeah, I think I would be an advocate for them to make every sport an Air Bud version of it.
Yeah.
So there's like Air Bud,
Ultimate Frisbee. It'd be pretty
speed skating,
easy.
Ultimate Frisbee, which dogs actually play Frisbee, so that wouldn't be too crazy. Air Bud, ice hockey, field hockey, air hockey, all the kinds of hockey. Quidditch. Yeah, there's like Harry Potter Bud.
All right, to bring it back to this game. If you guys ever get a chance to see another movie that I saw,
Alex.
Just kidding.
So Roller Gator. So, okay, we see like an exterior shot of Darkblade's house. This is a house that we've seen before. It's getting to be nighttime, but unlike in previous times that we've been here, there's an additional car in the driveway. And that car's a pretty nice car. It's nothing too crazy, but it's what's a good car that's not like What do you think? A car that's not wild, but you're like, damn,
It's
that's
a Mercedes
pretty
E-Class. It's like not the S-Class, it's still a nice Mercedes, but yeah, or maybe a crossover. What if it was like an Audi like crossover? Or is that too nice?
Okay, I'm down with an Audi or like
Crossover is for the family, so you can fit your kids in there. It's the real power move. You pull when you want to drive that when you want to like pull into your younger brother's driveway and really slap your dick across his face. You drive a crossover.
Well, again, he's your older brother, or no, he's your younger brother. You're the older brother.
Yeah, that I meant when you want to drive in front, even worse in your older brother's driveway, who lives with mom and dad. You want to slap your dick across his face. You drive the crossover, and it's German. Okay.
Okay.
Crossover.
So he's got an Audi SUV, right? So he's got this Audi SUV, and we see that parked in the driveway. But
joke's on him, because these new cars all have computers and microphones in them. So the NSA definitely knows everything about all your affairs you're having, Brian.
Yeah, idiot.
Fucking idiot.
So Brian is younger. We said that Darkblade's 29. Brian is younger. I'm imagining Brian's not a lot younger. He's maybe like 27, 26, 27, something like that. He's not much younger.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's 26 or 27 years old, but he's got this really nice car that he pulled.
Yeah. Did he fly into town? Maybe it's a rental, or did he drive?
Yeah. The other thing is, does Brian have a family?
Yes, he does.
Yes. So it says like baby on board. There's that sticker in the back of the thing.
Yeah, it's got 2 stick figures, a mom and dad. And then like a stick figure of a young, of a little stick figure, and then a stick figure of a dog. Nice.
Yeah, so he's got that stuff on there, and we come in and we see Adam Scott, or we see a picture. We see a shot of Darkblade angrily eating. We're gonna pan around to each of their faces. We'll do this, painting the scene. How can we automatically tell that this is an uncomfortable family dinner?
Well, first of all, the family dinner started before I got there, and Dad's back too. So,
can we have your dad not be back based on in the past we said that he like walked out?
Yeah, but now that Brian's in town, Dad came back and he's eating dinner with Mom. All right,
for the first time in your life, or
they're together. So that's, first of all, that's enough of a shock, and to see Brian sitting at the head of the dinner table, and Mom and Dad on each side of him, and there's no plate made for Darkblade. That's pretty fucked up. Yeah.
Okay. Are you married to your dad being there? Because I had like a thing based on the fact that we said that he left earlier. Could we bring him in another time? Or are you like, no, if he's got to be there for this scene to really get cooking?
I really think he's got to be there for the scene to get cooking,
and he's there. There's going to be some weird gaps in my understanding of what's going on. But yeah.
Well, his mom is like, oh, Herbert, it's okay. I made you a plate. It's in the kitchen. You get yourself a plate and sit down. And Herbert's like, well, what'd you make? What's for dinner? I'm not just going to get a plate of something if I don't like it. And then Brian's like, Herbert, it's so good to see you. Oh my God. How have you been? Big bro. I'd like to get someone else in here to play. With that in mind, I'd like to get DJ in here to play Big Bro Brian.
So Brian, remember, Brian is your younger brother.
Little bro Brian, sorry.
Yeah, but he just thinks of him that way because this is about how much more accomplished he is.
Yeah,
like I'm in character right now. It's really hard for me.
Yeah.
So
some stuff.
All right, so we see that. Let's just go around the table here. So we see that first and foremost, Dinner has been served, and there wasn't a plate necessarily made for Darkblade, at least on the table.
We also see that I would like Carl to be mom, and Austin, you can be dad. All right. So all four of us get a seat at this table,
and we're here to heal Darkblade's trauma together.
So you come back up, and all right. What else? Well, we already threw out so much. I want to just fucking get moving with this.
This is the most intense scene of the Chronicle so far.
So
and Brian, you're going to be announcing that you're getting. Oh shit! There's an alarm. Be right back. Hold on.
This keeps getting more and
I
more.
was like, is that me?
Okay. Would you guys want to pick who his dad is?
Who's the actor, you mean?
Yeah, who's the actor who plays, or what actor would be Brian Kmoch Sr., who is Darkblade and Brian's dad?
John Goodman.
We've had John Goodman in so many games.
We already had John Goodman? Seriously?
Not in this game, but in other games, we've definitely had him in there. Yeah, I'm down. I have John Goodman in here.
I'm totally down for somebody else. I was just thinking he's a good mix of like ridiculous buffoon and also like super intimidating.
Yeah, let's go John Goodman.
Oh wait, yeah, sure.
Okay.
I saw a really good thing where the guy who plays Littlefinger is like an estranged dad, and he looks pretty amazing.
That does sound pretty good.
Let's do that.
He, I think, looks a little bit more like Adam Scott than John Goodman does.
Let's do that.
Do you know that actor's name?
I did.
No, I'll try and look for it.
Game of Thrones was good.
Say again?
I knew that name back when Game of Thrones was good. Back when it was worth knowing things about it.
Okay. All right. So we see that this is a very awkward dinner. We hear a beeping in the background after Darkblade's come up out of the basement, and he's pissed off that there's no dinner for him.
I have to take that out of the oven, or else it's gonna drop.
Or else it's gonna drop, sweetie. And she'll like go and give a kiss to your estranged dad and a warm smile to Brian.
Oh man! And your dad, who again is named Brian Kmoch, and your younger brother is named after your father. And your dad's like, "Well, it's good to see you there, son. I'm glad that you came up for dinner. I was hoping that we didn't want to bug you. We didn't know if you were doing something real important. We heard you got your mom said you got a new job, and you had to even have people over here she was saying to keep them safe, or to make sure that nothing was bothered, that you got a job, but it involves computers. I'm not sure exactly what's going on."
Oh, who knows? Brian's into such things like we couldn't possibly understand. I'm just so proud that he's really found his way in the world.
I was referencing Herbert at that point, but
I'm sorry, dear. Of course, Herbie.
We know what Brian. Well, because we know what Brian does.
Too.
Shut up, Mom. Dad was speaking.
And I think he kind of is like, he slaps his hands down on the table and is like, "Well, you don't need to. I appreciate you standing up for me, but you don't need to yell."
I just feel like everybody's just being so mean to Dad right now, and they need to chill out and be nice.
And Brian, I think,
and
is
then he's
like,
gonna walk up behind Dad and rub his shoulders.
Well, Brian so far has been pretty quiet about this. Maybe Brian was expecting this.
It's okay, Dad. I know you haven't been home in a while. I just want to make sure you feel. I just want to make sure you feel home here, just like when you left it.
Oh, Brian, Herbie's taken it so hard since you've been gone, but it's okay because we're a family now. Brian is home and Brian is home.
I think, and I know maybe Brian could point out.
Wait, why is Brian home? Nobody told me Brian was going to be home today. Why are you home, Brian?
I think Brian is perhaps the soberest one in this situation, at least in demeanor, not necessarily in toxicity levels here, or alcohol or intoxicant levels. But maybe Brian is the one who I don't know if David is not hopping in, but I think maybe Brian is the one.
I forgot I was supposed to be Brian. I was looking up this actor's name.
If you don't want to be Brian, I will do it. All right. So I think Brian is the one who points out in very Adam Scott, like, are we not going to point out that we haven't seen Dad for 8 years?
I know. Why is everybody getting on his case?
Now, boys, Brian has been through a lot, okay? But he's still your father. And we're a family. We've always been a family. We'll always be a family. Especially now that Brian are home. Okay?
Well, I appreciate that a lot, Mom. I really, really do. And I'm glad that you made dinner, and Dad, I'm glad you appreciate my career and you said a lot of nice things, but yeah, you left a while ago and I'm glad that you're back now, but at the same time, you were gone for a long time. Like, I've already gotten married and had a kid, and this is the first time we're seeing you in 8 years or 7 years, whatever number I said before.
Yeah, and this whole time, I've been taking care of Mom and keeping this whole family afloat, all right?
And I think your dad Brian Sr. chimes in, and he's like, well, your brother's a systems analyst for a finance company. I think he's not exactly been letting things go, and I've been sending your mom money here and there when I can. Things haven't always been great, but
we're so proud of both of you. You're both doing your best. It's just wonderful to have you back here with me and Herbie.
So,
yeah,
okay.
You didn't answer. Why are you here, Brian?
And your brother.
Darkblade runs away from the table.
Darkblade's like, hold on, my Warcraft
like
figurine's still in the kiln.
Sometimes when he has too much of that red Mountain Dew, he just gets so fidgety.
And I think your Brian Jr. is like the amount of red dye in that stuff is going to cause him to I'd say it would stunt his growth, but he's already 29 years old. So, if it won't stunt his growth, then it'll probably make him sterile at this point.
I worry about him. He's running with these new friends, and they get him out of the house, which is really wonderful. But he's up at all hours in the daytime, going out, and sometimes he just seems to be preoccupied with the strangest things.
So I heard Mom says, and he's maybe saying this to Darkblade. Maybe Darkblade's busy shoving. What's the dinner, Carl?
Oh, it's obviously the Family Guy dinner, which is always meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and beans.
Meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and beans, like green beans, like string beans.
Yeah, or
okay.
Beans. I can't remember, but they're always eating the same thing. Do you ever notice that?
In the old Simpsons episodes, it was just gray slop.
Oh, in Family Guy, it's always like meatloaf and mashed potatoes.
Okay, yeah, so it's meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and peas.
And they're all from the package. Like, all of these are just warmed up in like 20 minutes. She's like, I cooked a fabulous banquet.
Like, look what I made. Yeah, so Darkblade is just stuffing this meatloaf into his mouth. And while he's doing that, I think Brian will say, like, yeah, Mom, I heard Herbert's got a girlfriend. Oh, Herbert, Mom told me you got a girlfriend. And I think your dad's like, oh, good job there. Yay. So maybe you'll have to, maybe all that stunted growth stuff isn't true there, Brian.
I've been getting chicks since like the 4th grade. Okay. I don't know what the big deal is. Okay.
And actually this is a good opportunity to bring this up. And Carl, as
we're going to have way more kids than Brian will. And we're in much more love than Brian is too. So I don't really go the big deal is.
I think Brian's like, it's not a competition, Herbert.
Oh, you boys were always so competitive.
So Carl, what I think in this point, Herbert's mom would bring up that he always weirdly was charming with girls.
Yeah.
But she'll bring it up not only in a way of like like a mom being like, "Oh, but you're so handsome because you're my kid." She'll have like some aspect that like the audience knows, "Oh, this guy weirdly at times is charming to people."
Oh, okay. Glad that's where you're going with that.
Yeah, that the whole idea is that like this guy who should be repellent to a lot of folks,
right? Like he has like
that he hasn't maybe he hasn't had a
charm.
lot of girlfriends, but he has a weird charm to him.
Sure, yeah. It's like, oh, don't you remember? Herbie had that one lovely girl in community college. What was her name? Gretchen?
It was Gerbert, Mom.
Oh, Gerbert. Oh, Gerby Bear. Whatever happened to Gerby? What happened to Gerby Bear, Herbie?
She moved to Idaho, Mom. Just shut up.
Oh, but you seem to know so much about her after she left. You always knew where she was, and you had, what was it, the IP tracking? Oh, it was so sweet.
Well, Mom, just having a couple. Look, Mom, stop. Just stop it, Mom.
She was tall.
She was following me too, I'm sure.
And your dad chimes in, "Gerbert, like the orange baby who loved Jesus? What are you talking about?"
It was Hungarian.
Beautiful babies.
And it was beautiful.
Oh man, fuck.
I was really looking forward to having.
And I'm pretty sure she was following my IP address and tracking me too, because after I posted all that stuff, after my Twitter account got blocked and banned, and I posted that stuff about 9/11, there's a lot of traffic on.
It got blocked because you accused George Clooney and kept posting over and over and over again that he was the one responsible for 9/11. And that the movie Syriana was an attempt to cover it up. That's why you got banned from Twitter. Your younger brother says.
Well, Brian, evidence was there. The evidence proved. Who's George Clooney's wife, huh? Where is she from? Does that answer your question, Brian?
Now, Herbie, don't get into one of your fits. It's okay.
Where's she from? Where's she from? I think your dad is like, "Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down."
Now,
okay, I gotta jump in here for this scene because it's hilarious. It's hilarious, but we got to get some information out about this. How is it that the audience learns why Darkblade's dad left?
It was
So how does the audience learn? Like, I've got some reasoning based on some other stuff that you can add some details into, but
I don't know. Go ahead. Actually, go ahead. No, I don't actually have anything.
Okay, just an idea, but I'd like to hear Carl's too. But perhaps he's like, "Wow, it's so clean in here. What happened with all those pizza boxes?" And he's just hinting at that she used to be a hoarder, and
so he left her.
Yeah, he left her because she was a hoarder, and that's my idea. But it's very dark.
Oh, and we can go with that. And then Herbie would always also sometimes as a child like leave things around, so he just assumed that like he was so messy that his father left.
Yeah, I think if Herbert was to blame for his father leaving, that's great too.
All right. So, okay. Then I'm going to give you guys some information, and let's
maybe the F. Okay, hold on. All right. So
tell me about Gerbert.
Yeah, no. After Darkblade posted his got banned from Twitter and Facebook and MySpace and LiveJournal, all in one fell swoop. Dad started seeing a lot of vans parked around the street, and this wasn't too long after 9/11, and there were, he was like, he's doing these things on the computer. He's doing these things on the computer he shouldn't be doing. And Mom was always defending him and just said that, he was special and that he was talented and that he needed to and nurtured his confidence in himself. And Dad got spooked by all the spooks that were. Wait, is spook the word for FBI agents?
Yeah. pretty
Yes,
much.
but it can also have some other terms.
It
that
also
are
has a
not
racist.
great.
Yeah.
The good
I'm
one.
gonna retract that word. That's what I thought. It also okay, but the G-men.
And it can mean ghost.
Yeah, it can mean ghost as well, but I'd rather use a different word. The
Darkblade wouldn't use a different word.
Yeah, the G-men that were hanging around a lot started interfering with his work and, dropping by his work. And maybe some people from LoreCorp were even involved at that point. And Dad was like, look, he's got to move out or I'm out.
Okay.
Okay. To go with something that you and I had talked about briefly before, Alex.
Mhm.
I'm gonna present an idea here. So here's what we learn, and if we could get this in, and you're welcome to weave as much of that into this as you're welcome to weave a bunch of that into this if we can.
Mhm.
So I think that Darkblade's dad, so Brian Sr., always thought that Herbert wasn't his son.
Oh, okay.
Even though they look similar.
Oh, yeah.
And doctors, like, every test that doctors ever did basically suggested, like, your dad has a propensity for high blood pressure, and this stuff says that you'll possibly have a propensity for high blood pressure. So like everything that doctors did, you guys look somewhat similar, and various medical things suggest that you are indeed related. But Brian Sr., your dad, was always suspicious of the fact of like he thought you were not his son. And I think that one of the things,
a DNA test.
Oh, maybe that's not been done. But I think that one of the issues is that when around the time that your mother was like pregnant with you and you were born, Brian Sr. was not around a lot. Maybe he had like a sales job that had him driving around and going to these different places. And I had this idea that your mother was like, that your mother and father were trying to have children, but couldn't because of a condition that your father had. But she eventually did become pregnant unexpectedly. That's the thing that I came up with based on, Alex, what you and I had discussed. We don't have to stick with that, but I like the idea of basically implying that Herbert is possibly magical in some capacity.
Maybe he was born with green skin.
Maybe he was born with green skin. I think maybe it'll go a little bit more subtle than that. But
right when he came out, he was there watching, right? Well, he was being pulled out. And he was green for like 1 or 2 seconds. And he was like, and then he looked like a normal baby again. Maybe it was goblin blood.
Sure, that's a possibility.
Mom.
But yeah, so I think that's the deal, that like your father had, like, that had been part of the big issue within his relationship with your mom, was that he was like, oh, I don't think I'm my eldest son's father. Even though as you've grown up, you've started to look more like him. You even have some like similar medical conditions to him. It's like, oh, we both have slight eczema. Like that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Psoriasis on our elbows.
We both breathe in and out.
Mm-hmm. It's weird. Yeah. When we put food up our butts, we don't get the same result as when we put it down our mouth holes.
Yeah. We both like pudding.
Yeah.
A lot.
But so that's my suggestion. If we could figure out like a way that could come out, we kind of let this devolve into very, very hilarious stuff. And I liked it. I enjoyed it. But if I want some of this stuff to come out, and I am not completely 100% married to exactly all this stuff, / we could add details and that kind of thing.
Well, I think that I'm going to look at Carl here. And
Hey, fuckers, I'm an elf.
A deep voiced elf comes in.
Yeah.
He delivers a pizza, and he's there to fuck.
Yeah. Brian, are you okay?
Sorry, sometimes my recessive elf genes just really get to me. And then he shoots arrows into everyone at the table.
Yeah. Then Shadowrun style, one of you turns into a troll, the other into a dwarf, and the other one sprouts a hacking kit in their forearm. Now we're playing Shadowrun, boys. Roll your characters.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, so
Typical Brian.
But yeah, I think that Brian kind of. You good?
Oh yeah, I'm great.
Oh no. How is it moving that microphone so much?
Oh.
So I think that Brian Jr. is in a position where he's pushing for wait a minute. Why? This is weird. Dad was gone for a very long time. And what's the tipping point that we have to learn some of this information?
And what, Mom? Say something. I think it'd be easiest for Mom to
sure.
comment on.
I'll be like, I was trying to help out Herbie by filling out. I took some initiative, and I was gonna help Herbie fill out. I was looking for places for Herbie to live, maybe just in case he wanted to sort of, he seemed like he was going out with his friends a lot more, and I thought he could maybe look into having his own place. And I just filled some applications for him, and some places required his birth certificate, and it just got me thinking, how Brian, you never really interested in that part of Herbie's life, but I think it's important he knows where he came from.
I don't know who's going to take care of you, Mom, if I don't live here. I mean, everybody, who's going to take care of Mom, guys? Everybody else abandoned her, and I'm the only one left who loves you, Mom. And now Herbie, Brian certainly doesn't. That's why he has his that's why he has his little white picket fence and
just because I moved and got a job and got married and had a family of my own doesn't mean I don't love our mother. What are you talking about?
Now, Brian had to spread his wings and fly, Herbie, and it's true for you too. You don't have to worry about me because I was provided for when you came into this world. That's how you came to be, and just like you were provided to me. The angels are going to provide for me when you leave.
Mom.
So hold on. I'm going to kick this in the butt. How do we learn this aspect that Brian Sr. left because he didn't think Herbert was his son?
I'm trying to say that right now. I'm saying, you're an immaculate conception. When you leave, God's going to take care of me.
Okay. Okay, maybe Brian Jr. just
what
says
are you talking about, Mom? I don't.
And I'll say, well, we don't talk about it a lot. And she'll try and reach for Brian Sr.'s hand, and maybe he's sort of skittering away. Be like, but Herbie, Brian's a wonderful father, but he's not your daddy.
And I think Brian Jr. will be like, look at these two. They look incredibly alike. What do you mean he's not his dad?
Well, listen, he raised him, and as we all understand, that makes him his father. But Herbie, your daddy's Jesus.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, indeed, in the background. Okay,
Mom.
So,
Jesus, you're Jesus' boy, Herbie.
This went off the rails, man. This is too crazy. So I think Brian will just be no, man. We gotta go back.
Mom, did you have a Mountain Dew today?
Literally says she was impregnated by herself in a garden. All right, it says immaculate conception in the text.
Okay,
Mom,
yeah. So then in that case, Brian Jr. is just like, Mom, Herbert and I both look like Dad. Herbert even has the same psoriasis that Dad has. Look at their elbows.
The Lord works in subtle and mysterious ways. Well, I tell you, I never lay with your father 9 months before he was born. That was the day that I was in the garden meditating on the mysteries.
I
And
don't know
Brian
how
knows
we
this. Brian knows this. Brian Sr. It'd be like...
This is why you guys shouldn't come here unannounced without any invitation. Your mom misses you guys, and she's prone to having a stroke if you guys are just gonna show up here and surprise her like this.
And I think Brian Jr. is like, well, it seems somebody does need to take care of her if this is what's going on here. This is nuts. This is nuts, Herbert. This is nuts, Dad. And he like yells at Brian Sr. DJ,
I don't know if you're
pushing to get in here.
Yeah, if you're trying to, I don't know if you're trying to wrap this up, but I have the perfect time to end this whenever you're ready.
I'm an elf, and here's this pizza to fuck. And that was it. That no, the yeah, I'm
Please.
okay. So did we got this stuff out, but we got it out so crazily.
What
that
part of this
editing-
premise wasn't crazy exactly?
I think it is for sure insane. You're right. You've got a point. That's on me.
Listen, the literal text you provided was, he was immaculately conceived. I mean, where was I? Where, how do we bring that down a notch exactly?
Yeah, I would love it too if I was like immaculately conceived and then born 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Oh, but you said
absolutely.
9 months. He said 9 months.
Why
so-
not?
From an egg,
Now.
from a
Yeah.
giant ostrich egg.
Yeah, Dad. Oh my God, yes. Yeah, from an egg would be great. Maybe Mom laid an egg, and then 9 months later, I hatched out of it.
It's me, Gerbert.
That's why I was named Herbert. She was in the herb garden when
She's the herb getting some gerb.
when that egg dropped.
Listen, she's Hungarian. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just have it do things over there.
Just put a little paprika on there. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
but is this where we're ending the scene though, Austin?
Oh Jesus Christ! Please.
You hit us.
All right,
What do you
yeah,
got?
I think just the last scene of this is then the camera pans over to this blonde, very pregnant woman who's been standing there the whole time, and she just like has eaten like 3 bites of this plate, and she's like, Brian, can we get a hotel, please? And just looks terrified.
And he says, and Brian says, "This is my real mom." No, that is good. That is a good way to end that.
That's awesome.
That's great. 1 minute, please.
Okay. Fuck.
Oh man, like I feel like Blade's really growing a lot in character this scene.
That was extremely, extremely funny. I don't know if you could tell me crying of how funny that was. Her name was Gerbert. Do you remember that little orange Muppet who loved Jesus named Gerbert? You don't remember?
I feel like I've been laughing even harder if I had. That doesn't ring any bells. God, I want to check in on the Blade household like once a session now.
Yeah.
This feels important.
Okay. What I was trying to do was get the idea that like, that there's no logical reason to have this thought that that Herbert is not Brian Sr.'s son, but that he had some kind of weird suspicion, something didn't feel right, and he left. Now all evidence, the way he looks, various medical conditions, whatever, suggest it's fine. Herbert and his younger brother Brian look enough like one another where it's like, okay, well, it also, and they both look somewhat like their father, so it would suggest further that like this idea that he wasn't Brian Sr.'s son is not really accurate.
Okay, so he is. You were going for. He is his son.
for all intents and purposes that anyone can know.
So did I just misread this when she genuinely believes that like this was an immaculate conception? Because it's entirely possible I misread this.
Well, yeah, Darkblade's mom. Well, the idea is that she would imply. These were notes for myself. So first of all, I should have maybe told you that she can imply Herbert was an immaculate conception, as opposed to just being like, your dad's Jesus. Your dad's Jesus. We never fucked. You were born.
He laid his hands on me.
He touched he touched my tummy for a second, and then you popped out as an egg. And yeah, so I might have to work on that.
I think you have a solid ingot of gold in your hands, and I don't know how you improve on that.
That's like, boy, oh boy, that's going to be rough. That's like, I got a bunch of soup all over, but I just want one thing out of the soup. How do I make sure it doesn't taste like any of the other things? Anyway, but it was to connect to some other things that I think you can figure out pretty easily.
Anyway. I actually don't know if you're like referencing something.
Oh, that she went to a little B&B in the suburbs. It's now suburbs.
So you're saying she like had like a guy on the side, like a rich guy.
I'll just come out and say, I think she went to Matlock's garden.
I would not have gotten that in 1,000 years.
In reading this, I can understand that completely. I think she ended up going to that garden somehow, and that somehow, like, her pregnancy was enchanted, or she was like,
that totally works. Like, she could be this crazy character who offers this completely off the wall explanation. Then later on, it's like, oh, she was right about half of it. Like,
it is crazy. It's just a little different crazy.
That totally works.
Okay. Pulling that stuff out of that is going to be rough.
I don't think you need to pull that explanation out of what we just did. Like what we just did, be like, oh, she's a crazy person who thinks you were an immaculate conception, and then later it's like she wasn't wrong about the fact that you came from somewhere unnatural. It just wasn't what she thought it was.
Ooh, would this be too heavy-handed in editing if that dinner scene ends and the dad and the younger brother walk out and there's a conversation between them just kind of clarifying what's going on? Or is that too like, here's exposition of what just happened?
What part do you feel like is missing?
Part of what I think is going to be tough is going back and siphoning out as much as I can out of that without being too crazy. Because
is it like, offensive?
It wasn't offensive at all. Yeah. It was hilarious.
I feel keep all of that. That was pretty much gold.
Yeah, I guess like I don't get what part you want to get rid of.
Okay, maybe for especially the inter mystery sessions, maybe they can be a lot sillier. Maybe we'll keep the ass worms and keep.
Oh, the ass worms is one thing, but it's one thing to have like a. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I think we're about to say the same thing. I think like Darkblade is pretty much
more ass worms.
The silly kind of PC of all of us.
And it's not even Darkblade; it's his family.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You got a point.
Ass worms, yes, for sure. You should probably take those out.
It's like whatever the real story is, it could be something very explainable, but it's not that crazy to have relatives who believe insane things.
True enough. I'll give you that.
They birthed a son who is now a conspiracy theorist.
True. The lizard people. Okay.
Right. So yeah, I should probably get out here at like 10, so I should probably go first, I'm thinking.
Okay, yeah, then we'll I think we can make this a little more quick. So this scene is about you and Regan. Good.
So am I Gilbert or?
Well, there's no Gilbert is Regan's brother. No. So Regan and Ashton, I think, have been maybe looking into some of that imagery that she had shown him. If you remember at the end of our last mystery, she brought this book that had like an image that related to voodoo that was somewhat similar to one of Alan Graves, who, by the way, the joke with that is his name is All in Graves.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but so Alan Graves is.
Do you see the picture I put was just a young Vincent Price?
Awesome. Yeah, it's his birthday, so everyone eat a little bit of ghost meat tonight. So I think she had shown you that image. It was like
I do that every night.
It was a much more oh damn. I had a poltergasm. But so she had shown you this image from like a book that was about voodoo. And she had basically brought up like, hey, the Magnolia Place mansion used to be a slave plantation. It's possible that there's a connection to voodoo from this mansion that Alan Graves' family owned. And I think she showed you this. I think the scene with her is maybe more of you guys on a date discussing this information of what you found. So the two of you are just at the University of West Central Florida Library, you think?
Oh, do you want to? I mean, this will be harder work for Austin unless he wants to delegate these NPCs. But what if?
Well, that went really well before.
Yeah, which
it was
is why
it was actually hilarious. I really did enjoy it, but it confused the shit out of me at times.
Oh yeah. So what if we're talking to Rosalind Lester, right? She's the professor that's an expert on this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So where are you guys talking to her? Are you just talking to her in her office? Did you awkwardly catch her at like the school cafeteria and she's like, oh, I shouldn't have come in here?
No. So let's channel the real like professors at UCF. That what was that like garbage like only for professors like jazz bar next to UCF? Do you remember what that was called?
I do not. Only for professors jazz bar.
I think it was in the same plaza as Lazy Moon was.
Well, one of you was cooler than the other, obviously.
Yeah, apparently there was underground.
It's Austin. Underground Blues. That might have been it.
Ooh, okay. Did you never go in there?
I did, only because my professors were like,
okay.
I'll meet you here because I'm the cool professor.
Okay,
that would have been I've only been here with other professors. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was
every time I met a professor outside of their office, it was like Underground Blues. I'm like, oh my god.
Okay.
This place is awful.
Yeah, so there's a bar nearby. There's like a bar and cafe called Underground Tunes.
Yeah, perfect. Underground Tunes. Take out the other stuff in case any of the professors listen.
Yeah, but it's spelled Toons, and it's weird. There's cartoon people there, Roger Rabbit's there, Jessica Rabbit's there.
You gotta,
but it's filthy. They just straight up fuck.
I hate all this. No,
okay.
How are you gonna appeal to boomers here, Austin? It's what would it be like? Something about records, like Revolution.
Ooh,
records or something.
It's called Revolutions Records and
Records and Rum, or I don't know.
Yeah, Revolutions Records and Rye. It's like a whiskey bar.
Perfect.
Yeah, real cool. And so you just have like, it's a very, very hipster crowd, but it's a little bit more expensive. So it kind of, I feel it almost has a Stardusty kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. And usually it's just professors that go here. She's like, this is my favorite place. And I think maybe we start with Ashton kind of looking at the menu, and they're all like 14, 12, 13, like cocktails. Yeah. And he's like, do you want to split one, Regan?
And yeah, she's like, just get something. It's fine.
Do you have anything on draft?
And a guy comes over and he's wearing the like old timey, the leather apron kind of a thing. And he's like a mixologist. And he's like, what kind of flavor profile are you looking for? And we kind of see that, and we get a close up of Ashton being like, what?
Yeah. What?
Yeah. So he orders something. Oh, maybe the guy like, he talks for a while and he just stares at you like, what's going on? And he just, you see you see he like pours something below the counter and gives it to you and says, I'll put that on your tab. Don't worry. And he just throws a can of PBR in the garbage.
Uh-huh. But a full can.
Yeah. And he types in $7 into the cash register. Yeah. So, all right. So you're sitting there and
Yeah, and maybe if we have some time before the professor shows up, right? He's like, "Oh, Reagan, I've been looking into like voodoo and voodoo stuff, and these kind of symbols. I know, like you're really good at researching and things. But yeah, here's some sketches and stuff I made. I don't know if they look familiar to you, but."
And she'll look through it. And are they the sketches from Alan Graves' those other symbols connected to that case?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And they're just dicks.
They're
just
just
100 pages of dicks.
pictures of Herbert.
Do any of these look great to you?
She says the curvature is very strangely complicated. No.
Do you like the veins? Or are they too much?
So I think that if you show her these images from like Alan Graves' other things, she can. I think she can like connect some of them with other stuff. And she's like, I think I looked in Dr. Lester's book, one of her books, and she said that like wasps were a thing. So this wasp image kind of makes a lot of sense. Is this supposed to be like smoke or a pyre or something? I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I can explain the definition of pyre for you if you want.
Okay. I thought you were just mispronouncing fire. Oh, I'm
Oops.
such a silly goose. And then,
that was a joke for you, Austin.
I know, I got it. And then she goes honk honk, and she flies away. She's sucked into the plane's engine. So she'll tell you, like, she's like, I looked up that mansion. And I found out some stuff about the place. It was built in the 1830s, so like pretty close to when Florida became a state. It was always pretty small, and then based on some accounts that I read around the time of the Civil War, all the slaves escaped.
Oh, it was like a plantation kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
And she's like, it was, but I was trying to look into some other stuff. I don't know. Is there anything else we should really look into with this?
Well, I guess not. Just all these symbols, hopefully they're done with now, but I don't know. I just want to make sure that they never get used again, I guess, really.
The symbols?
Yeah, these in this notebook.
She'll be like, what? What were some of those folks? What were some of those people saying? I heard that there was some kind of that Bella White, before she died, she was seeing visions. There was a rumor going on about that somebody at the hospital overheard her interview with the police. Or not her interview. The security guard who shot her's interview with the police. Is that what happened?
Oh, Gus Miller? No, don't worry about him. I mean, who? What? What I meant by that was that, no, those symbols, I mean, some people think they're real and they put, I don't know, like a unhealthy attachment to them. And they think they can do things. So I just want to make sure that, you know, they're not showing up anywhere else recently. I mean, anywhere at all recently.
I think it'll be good to look into what they are, rather if they're causing people some kind of problem. But Ashton, I appreciate you coming out with me and meeting Dr. Lester here. I want to know this, and one of the reasons I like you is because you're interested in finding this kind of information, that you're curious about this stuff, that you don't think it's nuts, that you think it's worth looking into. But there's times where I feel like you're not really telling me what's going on. And like, I need us to be honest with one another. I mean, one of the problems I have with Maui is that he's not honest about who he is at all. So the only reason he can go camping constantly and smoke weed every day is because his mom works for Halliburton. Like that doesn't. Like
and Maui was her ex, right?
I think it has been implied that she is still seeing him.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That she's like dating this other person, but she's specifically telling you this is a thing I don't like about him, and why and why I want to spend time with you, because I think that you're honest. Like I think that you're essentially intellectually interested in this thing that I am.
Yeah.
But I'm nervous that you're not being honest with me, and that's the dilemma I have with that other guy that I'm also in a relationship with.
Yeah, and for Ashton, I feel he's definitely like, oh, that means they definitely broke up now, so perfect. But he's like, yeah, well, and he kind of looks around, and the professor's not here yet, so he's like, all right, well, before, what's her name, Professor Lester comes. I was kind of working that case, I guess, or looking into it at least. And some of these, at least one person in particular really thought they knew or kind of figured these symbols out and that they were real magic or something. And I can't explain all of it, but I think they, went on that assumption and kind of did awful things based on that. And it kind of tricked some people into, falling into that trap too. And one of them, unfortunately, was that one guy, Cody.
Oh,
Cody Brinzo.
So you're saying Cody Brinzo basically believed this stuff too much and that affected him?
Yeah. Cody Brinzo believed it so much that these people, were using these symbols for magic or something, that he was ready to kill people for it. So, there's got to be some kind of history behind this. And I want to learn, I mean, like what these could mean to other cultures or, people in the past. And I don't know. They're obviously dangerous if people believe these too hard.
Could you make a cool roll for me?
Yeah, you want the coolest guy to make a cool roll?
Yeah, well, because you're definitely like leaving some aspects out of that. I don't feel you're not lying, but you're like leaving a chunk out.
Well, I got a 7.
You got a 7. Okay. And so,
wait, is that a what roll?
A cool,
charm roll? Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like defy
I got it.
Danger, or what's the term in this game?
Act under pressure.
Act under the pressure of her being like there's a lot you're leaving out here. I think if you give her one more tidbit of information here.
He says, maybe this is like right before the professor shows up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he takes this, pint glass full of PBR or whatever and takes a sip. So he leans closer and he's like, it could be bad if people believe this beyond the grave. Apparently that is also a possibility.
She'll kind of,
And
like,
then like maybe someone like the server or this other person interrupts us.
yeah, I think that Professor Rosalind Lester, Dr. Rosalind Lester comes in, professor of anthropology at the University of West Central Florida, comes in, and she's already got her
She
drink.
announces her title.
Hello, it's
as
me.
she
I'm
goes.
wearing a cape. You know what? I think she is wearing kind of a, I don't know what those are called, like poncho. Yeah, she's wearing one of those kind of poncho things, but much more, less Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and much more like something Blanche Devereaux would wear in
Mhm.
Golden Girls.
Oh yeah, perfect.
And she puts down like a drink of whiskey, and she apologizes for being late. And Alex, what's her reasoning for being late? And this might be total bullshit.
She, her dog got out.
My dog got out.
I've been chasing it around the yard all morning, and I know that was like hours ago, but I really set everything far back.
Okay.
And I,
Oh, Professor,
Yeah.
I thought you had a class before this, but I mean, yeah, if your
I
dog gets
haven't
out,
found
that's
my
a
dog.
big. No, I thought you had a class before this, but that makes sense because, I mean, if your dog got out, that's like your child.
Well, I did the class too, but I had to do things before the class I didn't get to do, and I had to do it after that class.
Yeah,
But
she'll
really,
explain
it all
that
comes back to the dog.
she'll explain that her dog got out, and yes, she did go to her class. And when you bring up that dog's like your child, she's like,
He was a rescue.
She's like, I have an adult son, but yes, my dog, he was a rescue. Thank you for asking. I was looking for him for a while. I had to go to class, but then I got right back to looking for him, and I had to go back between then and now.
What's your dog's name?
I like it better when she was talking like she was on Maori. My dog's name is Snuffles.
Yeah, his name is Snuffles.
Is something funny?
All right. So she's like, she said, Ashton Greene, I know that you're looking for, she'll call you Mr. Greene. Mr. Greene, I know that you're working with the Lore Corporation and with, right, that had been revealed to her before? No. I don't think it had. She'll say, Miss Brewer, I know that you've been very, very interested in a lot of my work, and I appreciate it. But again, I'm fairly busy. Have you read this book that I've written on this exact subject? And I think Regan will be like, oh, maybe she'll take out a book that you guys have referenced several times. And she'll, this is an opportunity for you guys to ask this woman questions about exactly what you've seen.
Okay.
From that previous mystery / the extended version of it.
Yeah. So, did we have any unresolved things from that? I think it was just the origin of those symbols, and we kind of knew there were voodoo kind of situation.
And I think that's where Dr. Lester will correct you,
Mhm.
where she's like, they are and they aren't. They're imagery that is in and connected to some voodoo or voodoo imagery, but not exclusively. The images of wasps are much more connected with European witches and witchcraft, and fairly not as commonly seen in voodoo imagery. One of the issues that you run into, of course, is a blending of cultures that you see, in part because, and she gets into a long history lecture of like these different ideas coming together. She can point out if Regan shows her the images that you guys are talking about, and if you kind of draw a similar image to what had been seen, or even show her a picture of what had been the image that you found at the group home that theoretically Alan Graves had made.
Like the headline one.
It's
right?
like Alan Graves essentially drew two stick figures with an arrow from one's head to another's head. And then Regan had shown you an image that's much more complicated. Almost imagine like a Scientology book cover, like an infinitely more complicated.
So it's like volcanoes.
There's a volcano. Tom Cruise is there. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Dr. Lester can say like, oh, there's an idea not only within voodoo, but also within a lot of other traditions of witchcraft and magic. It's even among some indigenous peoples to this area, but certainly among European kind of folklore of the idea of almost brain control or mind control. The idea that a witch or even a coven of witches or a group can control the mind of someone that they get in their thrall or with under their control or their power.
Oh, is it always a coven, or can it just be done singly?
Like I said, it can be a witch or a coven of witches or a sorcerer or a shaman or a voodoo. Like they're a practitioner of some kind of magic being able to essentially control or even subsume the spirit or the soul of a victim and essentially steal their corporeal form or control their body. That's something that's actually in a lot of different the folklore of a lot of cultures. And she'll get into like oh, the idea of it being connected to voodoo actually has some like racist connotations, that the idea of like, oh, these slaves had really, what they really seek to do is be their masters, because of course being themselves is so awful by compare. And she gets into like a long professorly lecture about it.
And would there be any reason for them to divulge that information to, I don't know, just a regular white kid?
She says, again, this comes from a lot of different, there's a lot of different folklore. A lot of different cultures have this as an element of their folklore, including folks who would definitely be considered white. Do you mean someone who wouldn't be involved in witchcraft?
Yeah, I guess maybe someone who had been bullied and maybe had some cause for revenge.
I mean, depending on how you considered witches, that sounds like every witch.
And he takes a long sip of this PBR pint.
Yeah, and I think to kind of finish this up, after Dr. Lester has left, Reagan is it Reagan with an A, Reagan, or Regan? Long A or long E?
I think it was Regan. I think I named her after the lady from The Exorcist, right? I forget how you pronounce her.
I do not know.
I think it's Reagan in The Exorcist.
Yeah.
I don't remember though.
Reagan, like the president?
I think so.
Okay. So, all right, that's me. Listen, Ashy, come here. Give me that little gipper. So Reagan, after Dr. Lester has probably left, since we need to wrap this up, one of the things that Reagan will do is she'll kind of like get on her phone, or even she has like a tablet with her and she's looking things up about the Magnolia Place mansion. Mm-hmm. And she'll tell you again, it was a plantation. They did have slaves, though those slaves
escaped.
According to an article, escaped at the outset of the Civil War. And the weird thing is she can look back up some of these documents, and she's using the University of West Central Florida's like various databases to look this information up. So it's not that this information would be hidden from other people. It would just be more difficult to access if you didn't have the resources of a big university.
Right.
And so she's looking this stuff up. And one of the things that she can find is there are a lot of weird property transfers that have occurred over the decades. The property was never sold. It was always passed on to someone. So at no point since 1830 was the Magnolia Place mansion sold. It was always inherited by someone. Mm-hmm. The other weird thing is, with the exception of Alan Graves, no one who inherited it was ever a child of the previous owner or owners. Alan Graves was the only person who was the child of the previous owners. And now that Alan Graves is dead, if there's no next of kin, if there's nobody, blah, 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 like the state would take over this and probably auction it off.
Yeah, that's the one we went to, right? That was all like disheveled and everything.
That's exactly the place you went to. It is now in a process of review to be run by the state, where they basically have to see like, is there anyone who this property might pass to? If there isn't, then it goes to the state. The state will auction it off.
Gotcha.
Here's how I think you find that information out. There's like a local historical society that's like, you can't auction this off. This is of historical significance.
Mm-hmm.
It's a plantation from 1830. And so there's like a story. There's a story in the paper or something like that. But yeah. So that's the stuff that you and Reagan can find out with Dr. Lester, who again looks like Kathy Bates.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Anything else from that? All right. I got one more scene with Mr. Welker, and I know it's 10:04 already. So, Mr. Welker, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So, why don't you set the scene for the next time you encounter Matlock's garden?
Does it have to be in the same place?
No, and I think that's actually important that it either isn't in the same place where you're like, this is absolutely not where this was before, or you get lost again and just encounter it. One of those two.
Okay, let me think for a second.
I think I like the idea that not I think it's actually important that his garden is not stuck in space.
Okay.
That it is in different places.
Okay, so hang on.
And again, if anybody else is with you, unless we're going to change a bunch of stuff up, it can only be your son who's who's like 5-ish.
That makes total sense. Okay, yeah, no, I'll keep it simple, sort of establish a pattern with this guy. So I'll say that, like, my wife, did we establish what she does?
That I was also going to ask you about that, because I think a 5-year-old is a lot of a handful, but I think especially depending on how things are going, your wife might be looking to maybe like, oh, he's going to be in school soon. Shouldn't I go back to doing blank?
I feel like we established what she does, but I just can't remember what the answer was.
I also didn't remember.
So, hell, whatever the answer was before, she's at a job interview now. So she's like currently like off interviewing somewhere. And so I'm walking the kid again, and like I'm walking not at all in the same area as before, where I previously found that garden. And I'll come across like a dog park that I hadn't previously noticed. Nothing seems weird about it. It's like relatively small, but it's got like a swing set on it, like just for 2 people. And so like I take the kid there. There's no dogs around, and I like sit down on the swing set for a breather, and I set the kid down next to me. He's just sort of like walking around, maybe trying to like get on the swing himself next to me. And like as I sit there, I kind of feel like, you know how when you take a bunch of Benadryl and you just feel like really like your head in the clouds, and that, like everything's just really, like you're wrapped in a big warm fuzzy blanket. Everything's just kind of like cool.
You finally stop itching for once in your life.
For just a moment, for Pete's sake. And so as I'm doing that, I see like a long jowled, old looking, like one of those sad-eyed dogs, like a pit bull or something, come over.
Like a basset hound, like the like
Basset hound,
super
better.
droopy ass dog.
Yeah, one of those sort of like looking dogs. And it makes its way over to me. It's sort of rutting around. I'm like, I kind of like lackadaisically looking around for its owner. It doesn't really matter because this dog's not a threat to me. And as I'm like sort of nodding off in the swing set, it's like,
if it isn't the tallest lad I've seen here in a while, back again, eh?
and Mr. Welker will jerk upright again and like look at him intently.
And again, you just see the big bloodshot, saggy ass eyes of this basset hound.
Matlock?
Good to see you again. Odd to keep seeing you, but I guess good to see you again. See you brought your lad here.
Well, but you were a cat. Like, I remember you were a cat, and I remember your name was Matlock because I thought of you as Catlock.
I've never been a cat in my life.
Is that true?
No, he was a cat before.
Okay. Says no. I'm certain you were a cat. You were a mangy-looking cat.
Aye. If I was a cat, I wouldn't be mangy. I'd be the king of cats hanging around, lapping up a bowl of cream, having a good time, a stretch. And then I think we see him pull out that tiny, and it looks like I said, like a perfume or a cologne bottle. And he drinks a little of that. And again, it's a dog that looked like a normal dog and then becomes a little bit more anthropomorphic where it kind of goes back on its hind legs. But if this is done as a TV show, it's still a fairly normal dog just doing more human things. So it has this tiny bottle that it just reaches like out from behind itself of like, wait, where did you get that? And it drinks this stuff. And it says, I've been known to forget from time to time, at least in the short term. Longer is a little bit easier for me. But those things, and he makes like a motion. He's like, they stick in there. Don't mean to be rude. And he offers you some of the stuff from this. Again, it looks like a perfume bottle.
In an attempt to not also be rude, he'll like take it and like cheers him. And what does it taste like?
It's like sickeningly sweet brandy.
Okay. But it does taste like brandy. Like it's just like it's an alcohol.
Yeah, it tastes like the same thing it tasted like before. And I think, and you tell me. So my imagining is that it tastes like some kind of like fruit brandy thing. But if you think it would taste like honey, or if you think it would taste like some kind of sweet herbal liqueur, you tell me.
I can't really put my finger on. Like to me, it tastes like you distilled a bunch of like lifesavers, but it's probably something much more complicated that I just haven't experienced before.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it has like an overwhelmingly sweet, fruity taste, but like with a weird little afterbite of some kind of herb
like,
or essence or something. Where you're like, what?
Wouldn't have made this, so clearly it's something else. But that's just the closest analog I have.
Yeah, it'd be like if you ate a lifesaver and then afterwards crunched down on a fennel seed for a second and then spit that out. I'm like, huh? What?
Okay, so he'll take that, but then like after
lifesavers made an oregano lifesaver.
Oh God,
that would be terrible. But
that's incredible.
So you drink this thing and you're like, well, I don't know what that is at all. It's the same thing you had before.
Okay,
so it is not different. It tastes exactly the same.
As he hands it back to him, like that sort of reminds him that he doesn't really know anything about this person, and that the last time they talked, he was talking about how children visit him exclusively. And so like as he hands it back to him, he'll like go and like sort of try and like suddenly like take his child like by the hand so that he's close and like not in any danger.
Sure. So I think when you are looking around, the landscape around you has changed. You are sitting on like a park that was like a much more modern park that had like a swing set and maybe like a little spin around thing, carousel deal. I forget what those are called. Like little monkey bars, kind of jungle gym kind of dealy, and slide. I think this is way older. Like you look down and you are on a swing, but that swing is like attached to a tree. And instead of sitting on a swing that's on two chains, it's like a rope that's between your legs. And so like this is a different place than I just was. And maybe your son is he's nearby and he's just chasing after like a butterfly or something, like some
I'm gonna like
kid
be in
shit.
contact with him. Like I'm gonna like hold him by the hand or like scoop him up or something while I continue to talk.
Sure. And I think he can talk. He's 5 years old.
But
he's
can he see him?
I think he's like dog. He's like, oh, he's a dog. You're a droopy dog.
I'll say, what does the dog say?
I think he gives like a standard child, like dogs say woof 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 woof, or ruff, 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 and he does like a dog impression.
Cool.
And he's like, and Matlock the dog, like puts that drink away and he takes out his pipe. And again, he's like, I've never said that in my life.
Nice. He'll say, "Hey, I thought you were supposed to be good with kids. Why can't he understand you? Is he not innocent enough?"
He's like, "Oh, calm down. It's not a competition here for whose child is the most innocent. Oh, that's grim. Ew, think about the opposite of that situation. Jeez."
Yeah, there's probably some.
Or no, he doesn't say Jesus. He says like my stars.
Yeah.
And he smokes. And again, it's weird because he doesn't have hands, but he's basically able to manipulate these things. And I think, again, before we said he had a lighter, but he couldn't use it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he like has this pipe and he's like, a little help here?
Sure. Yeah, I know the drill. I can do that.
Oh.
It'll be like, so you can't seem to get rid of me.
It's odd even to see you here. I've got to say that because, like I said, you're the tallest lad I've ever seen. I've seen in a long, long time. Usually, I just have the weans come by, make sure they're safe, keep them out from harm. But something about you keeps coming you around, eh?
I say, I'm not in any danger that I know of. What do you think?
I'd hope not. Look at you. You're 3 times my size.
And I'll say, and then like a thought.
I think he looks over at the kid and he's like, think you could take him too.
And I say, a thought will occur to me, be like, wait, he's not in danger, is he?
Usually reason why they come here is because they are in danger. So if he's coming in here, something's up.
Well, hold on. Well, what kind of danger? Like, what kind of danger could he possibly be in? What do you know about it?
Usually, when one of the weans that find their way here, I'm having a hard time deciding how Irish to go with this accent. I want to go lighter than thicker, but anyway, usually when one of the weans will come in here.
I just took a drink because you talked about your accent.
Yeah, and again, that's weans, like small people, not Wayans, like the Wayans brothers of comedy fame. He'll say, like, when the weans come here, it's usually because there's something after him, something looking for him. So actually, I guess I hadn't seen it before because you're here. You know, you got to stop distracting people. You're like a lass with big tits and a short skirt.
Well, I'll say, what am I distracting you from? Like, what are you supposed to be on the lookout for here?
On the lookout, I just help out with the weans, like I said. The little lads, lassies, when they became Scottish there. Drink. I just help out with the little lads and lassies. When there's someone when there's something up, there's someone following them. When I see the evil eye roaming.
I say, hey, listen, Matlock, I love having a magical, not cat, not dog friend just as much as the next guy, and I'm happy to share a drink with you. But it seems to me like the common thread in us being here is my boy, and you're telling me that you tend to only see the little ones when there's danger about. So you can see how I'd be concerned.
Understandable. I understand it completely. Here, hold on. Wait a second. And he takes another swig from this tiny bottle. And he'll offer it to you again.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll say, he'll basically explain this. That so far as he knows, he's able to keep children safe from when something bad might happen to them. And he doesn't know the full extent of it, but when there's someone following them, or someone after them, or when something bad otherwise would have happened to them, and he'll say, like, near enough to me, well, they just pop in here, get a brief moment of rest, nice peaceful place, chase after a bug, and your son is like looking at a dragonfly.
And then what happens after you're done looking out for them?
And they go off home, just like you did. The thing I don't understand is how big lad like you can come in here, even with your little one. Or even with your weein. That's what I had said before.
Yeah.
That's the terminology I'll use.
And I'll say to him, well, listen, I think that's a very noble goal. I got to ask,
Big man like you should be able to protect his laddie from whatever was going on.
And he'll like
Doesn't
bristle and say, of course I can. But if you know something that I don't, I need to know that. You can see that, right?
And I think he'll kind of think about it, and he'll go over to he'll kind of like pace around. But again, he's a dog, so his version of pacing around is kind of just awkwardly.
Is his tail wagging, or is it sort of doing his legs, or?
I don't think between his legs is in like, oh, geez, kind of thing, but it's not wagging like as in excitement. But I think he's kind of like looking around. His tail is up, and he's a basset hound, and he's kind of droopily moving around.
His tail's moving like a cat's does, like totally unlike a dog. So it's sort of like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The tail is like, you're like, that's not a dog. Like 100%, you're like, okay, he isn't a dog.
Yeah.
And so when he was like, I've never been a cat or a dog in my life, you're like, oh, he is not that.
Yeah.
And maybe, yeah, I like yours. It's moving that way. I was going to say maybe it's not a dog's tail. Maybe it's the tail of another animal. But I like that it's just moving like a cat's tail.
Which would be super weird.
Oh, extremely strange. And yeah, so he kind of sniffs around the swing. He sniffs at your son, kind of walks around, and he goes back to that the well. And if you remember, there's an old stone well, and on the top of it is a like a wooden lid. And he kind of leans up against it, and he'll say, like, "You think I can get up here with these legs?"
Oh, yeah, Mr. Welker, go help him, whatever he needs.
Yeah, and you have to lift him awkwardly up, and he's like, "Hey, watch the undercarriage, son."
Of course, wouldn't dream of it.
Seems like something's out there. Something's following you around. I can smell it. Doesn't come from under the earth. Doesn't come from where I'm from. Comes from the water. Where I ended up, it seems.
I'll say, from the water. And I wonder if Mr. Welker put that together right away. Yeah, I mean, I did. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, you're not talking about a monster, are you?
And I think he'll say monster, and he just shrugs. And again, he keeps changing between whether he can do human stuff and whether he's a dog. And so when you say that, he shrugs like a person. And he takes another drink of this like weird bottle, which again, I feel he's like pulling them out from essentially off screen.
Yeah. Every time you like turn back to him, he has something else in his hand.
Yeah. But he'll say, monster, I don't know, but something that's certainly something that smelled off to me. That's why I must have brought him here. But I don't know why I'd bring you here.
I'll say, listen, Matlock, I could take care of myself. You don't need to worry about me. But listen, there's nothing I won't do for you if you can help me make sure that my kids stay safe. Like if it comes down to it, would you do that for me?
Huh. Just sitting here a story for me, lad.
Of course, he'll sit down again.
You know, when I was, I wouldn't say young, but I was younger. I came here, it was a long, long ride. I was surprised. Folks I was a wee boy. I was a wee bairn. Yeah. Came here, it was a long time ago when I showed up. It was other folks, families who came, who wanted someplace to go. With people some of whom they didn't speak the same language, but they had the same hearts. They had the same faith, at times at least. I'd have thought we had the same heart, but not always. So I tried to help as I could, tried to get on as I could, and here I ended up. Turns out, pissed the wrong fell off. Friends of mine pissed the wrong fell off, and I got trapped here. Not upset about it. What else was I doing? But as so many of my, as far as I know, other folks have gone under the earth, gone to be away from all of you, and now here I am, one of the last of the little folks, hanging around, stuck, can't be under the earth.
It sounds like you're doing good work given your circumstances. I mean, how many children have you helped, you know? But with that said, you know, if there's anything I can do to help you, I'm familiar with sort of your world.
This sounds like a manipulate role.
Is it? I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, this sounds like a manipulate role, especially because you're like, I specifically want something from you and I will help you out. And the way that this game works, it will...
Okay.
If you get a 7 to 9, he will tell you what he wants.
All right, let's do it.
Actually, a thing I really like about this game, which is I don't have to be like, guess. It's just like, hey, give me this.
It's charm.
Yes.
I keep forgetting that Welker is not that charming. Oh, I got an 8.
Okay, so I think that you get this information, but to just have Matlock giving you the information, I think would be boring. I think if this was a TV show, he wouldn't just tell you. We'd have a flashback.
The whole episode.
You see this stuff. So I'm going to give you this information, and if you want to relay the story in imagery that you get back, here's the deal, and I'll try to make this really, really quick.
Okay.
So, after the Spanish Armada attempted to invade England, do you like that, David? So after the Spanish Armada attempted to invade England...
All right, I'm going to make this real quick. Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah. 500 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But yeah, so
I
gotta get out of here.
Whenever you gotta go, we'll talk to you later. But so when the Spanish Armada attempted to invade England, and it was for the most part repelled, there were some ships that ended up in
by the will of God, storm.
By the will of God. Some folks say that the term Black Irish comes from those folks of Spanish descent who landed in Ireland. But the deal is that there were some folks among the Irish who essentially, when they heard that Spain was settling these colonies, left Ireland to go be with their Catholic brothers in the New World. And they thought that this could be a new life for them. And so Matlock will tell you that essentially he ended up here with those people.
Yeah, okay.
And so he ended up here, and he enjoyed simple things. He enjoyed music. He enjoyed like the harvests that they would sometimes have. Life was pretty tough, but life had been tough in Ireland as well, and so this wasn't that different for him. The biggest thing that he clung to was essentially that there were only a few children born because the environment was so hostile. People were getting sick pretty regularly, in part because of the different climate. And he tried to look after those children. The thing that was eventually found was eventually at some point, like a priest found him, and this priest, being like connected to the Inquisition in some capacity or another, viewed this creature as a negative influence on like the proper Catholic souls and the native souls that they were trying to convert, and especially on these children. Matlock viewed this guy as someone who was being predatory towards children. And this priest drowned Matlock in a well. He clamped him in irons that burned, and he put him in a well that drowned him. And he's been trapped there ever since. And while
when that happened, was he in human form?
And he I think he will be very in his description, he will be very cagey, but in a visual, he can certainly be in some kind of human form or human-like form. I'll leave that up to you. I don't know what he looks like, but I know the idea is that he was clamped into irons and thrown down a well where he was drowned, and the idea forgotten.
Okay.
And so that's this idea, is that he's essentially been drowned, and he'll keep bringing up that he's like a child of the earth. He's one of the little people. A lot of his brothers he thinks have gone under the earth and they're gone, but he can't because he's been drowned. He's trapped in the water.
Oh, so maybe like we have sort of like a ring situation where if I exhume his body, that'd help him out.
And that's what he wants. And he's like, what I want is to. I think you can tell he wants that, but he's not even going to ask for it. Like he's so resigned to living in this situation for theoretically eternity, because he just told you a story that came from like the 15 or 1600s.
Well, presumably if he's only appearing to children, it makes a lot of sense he hasn't found anyone to help him out.
That also makes some sense. They're
Okay.
not always the best problem solvers. They're not all fucking Harriet the Spy.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like there's not really much I can add as far as like imagery to that. And like once that story is over, he'd be like, absolutely. Like I can't really help you right now. I need equipment. I need tools, but I can get those things. And then what would you do?
And what would he do for you?
No, well, my question at that point was like, where would you go? Like, what do you want? What do you want?
I think you put that to him and he doesn't have a response. Like I said, he's resigned himself to, I'm imprisoned forever. I can keep doing.
Consider it.
He'll, and I think you can kind of like see on his like in his like droopy dog eyes. And when you look at his eyes, you don't see the eyes of a dog. You see the eyes of a man. And there's kind of an element to that that's maybe off-putting. But there's an aspect to him that had resigned himself to, he will be trapped in that situation forever. There's another element that's like, well, what else can I do? And you're kind of blowing his mind with the possibilities here.
Yeah, it's like, Genie, if I free you, what will you do?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so like, what could be kind of logical about it? It's like, well, listen, like that would require digging equipment, some industrial machinery, and like sort of list these various things. It's like, but we'd have to like schedule a time I could find you, I can meet you, and might have to bring other people in. Like that well might be pretty deep, and
I think that's where he has the like, in the same way actually with the genie, where the genie is like, oh yeah, I get it. He has the like, he's like, don't bother yourself too much. I get it. It'll be a big pain in the arse. I understand, but don't worry about it. I've been here long enough. Longer won't hurt. What's the difference? Under the earth, under the water, same.
Sort of Welker would be like, kind of like get the message, but listen, like, I want to help you out. And he like look at the sky, like maybe like the sun's going down. He's like, I have to get Kyle, right? I have to get Kyle home. But I hope we meet again soon.
Appreciate it. One for the road. And he offers you that little bottle.
And he'll like oblige.
Mm-hmm.
Say, I gotta ask. I feel like this is dangerous territory. I was gonna ask, what is this? But let's say, like, yeah. Well, what is this?
That's a good question. I don't have an answer for that.
That's why I was like, I shouldn't ask this.
No, is it something?
Here's a better thing. Here's a better thing. He's like, say, listen, maybe next time I can introduce you to something, some more modern drinks.
Oh, and I think he'll say, well, taste of something new wouldn't be too upsetting. I've been sticking with this. And and he'll say, and I think he'll point out some things that it doesn't make sense for brandy to be made out of. I think he'll say like it's made out of like clovers and what else? What other weird shit?
Irish Spring soap.
Yeah, clovers and Irish Spring soap, the kind of soap that you have to stab with a knife. Show
Yeah.
who's boss. Otherwise, it won't go in your armpit. No, he'll say like it's made out of clovers. It's made out of lamb's breath. Made out of butterfly wings and snips and snails and puppy dog tails.
There you go.
And you're like, okay, you maybe started with a recipe and then you just kind of meandered away of like, yeah, it's made with whatever. Like, okay, weirdo.
Yeah. All right.
And yeah. What does it look like when Mr. Welker and Kyle leave? Like what is the camera shot here as they go away from this park? Because in the past you passed out essentially and woke up somewhere else. I don't think that would make sense if you're with Kyle. For you
Yeah.
to pass out.
Maybe something like sort of like an abrupt return to the mundane. So it's like he and I are walking out, and I'm like attending to him, and I'm like, "Did you like the doggy? Doggy?" He's like, "Oh, doggy goes woof," and then like I hear like a honk honk from behind me, like a car like right behind me because I'm like still in this daze. I like turn back, like what the hell? And it's just a regular road, and like a car like some asshole in an SUV is like, "Hey,
The guy's
man,
like, come on.
Yeah.
Awesome. That is literally exactly what I was thinking. And you look around and you not only, like that park is not here. The park that you're near. In fact, I think you aren't even near that park that you had started with. You've just been you're like, oh shit. And it takes you a while to get your bearings to head back home. We see a pile of rocks. They're covered over with grass for the most part. Maybe some bits of wood and roots. And we go towards it. We hear like the dripping of water. And we go into what is a well. But it's an old kind of well. It's covered in moss and
It's good.
there's all kinds of stuff like greenery growing in there, and but it's weirdly deep, and it's a deep well that we kind of go into for a bit, and we see that there are kind of old stones there, and maybe when we get to like the surface of the we get to the surface of the water, it doesn't take long for us to get to the surface of the water. Sorry, the well before we hit the water is not deep. It only goes in a couple feet, maybe a foot or two. And then we see this like scum-covered water. It's very dark, and we kind of go into it. And as we go down into it, it almost seems to get a little bit cleaner. And at the very bottom, we see a chain. And on the ends of this chain, we see two very, very small hands. But they are not completely human hands.
This American Monster is a production of This American Dice. This American Monster uses the Monster of the Week system, a game published by Evil Hat Productions and by Michael Sands. Sundry Charms is Leigh. Chase Welker is Carl. Darkblade 69 is Alex. Ashton Greene is David. And your Game Master is Austin Smith. Our theme song is by Patrick Ross. It's called Sinlude. Additional music for this episode included Around the Village by Lobo Loco.
Do you guys not remember Herbert, though?
I do. It was incredible.
He's like,
Wait.
oh boy, I sure do love Jesus.
Oh,
Sounds like a South Park character.
I thought you meant Gerbert, the person we just talked about and is now part of the backstory, and she definitely has to come back.
She's definitely she needs to come back and start a love triangle with Herbert and the vet or whatever.
She was a gill man the whole time.
Or that.
Hungarian. What's the Hungarian gill man
equivalent of Gilman?
There's got to be one.
Well, they're a landlocked country now, so it would have to go back to when it was the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Travel back, 1912. The Titanic. Aboard a gillman in a top hat. He's being drawn nude by Leonardo DiCaprio.
Hey, what's Ashton's scene?
Gerbert is there, and they're going to town on each other. They're doing lines of paprika off each other's boners. I couldn't handle that, man.
It's a regular Hungarian party.
Yeah. Give me the goulash.